What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're going to have another look at War Thunder, but this time at 1440p on an external monitor, and we'll see how it did, or how it does. And I think that it'll do pretty damn good on an external monitor, because if it's anything like Will of the Tanks, that game got like way better FPS once we hooked it up to an external monitor. It's that damn MUX switch. Wish they would have just put one in here, and this laptop would be legitimately basically perfect. And then it would have probably been like $1,700 instead of $1,650. I would have paid $1,700 for that thing, $1,699, you know? But that's just me. Anyway, instead of sitting here talking about BS, why don't we hop into the game and look at some settings? Okay, starting off our 1440p adventure here. For full screen, no VSync. We're gonna start off on minimum again, just like we did before. So let's just look at these minimum settings real fast. And then we'll go hop into the game. Alright, let's scroll down so you guys can see these two that were hidden. And there we go. Alright, let's get some minimum gameplay in now.
Follow the waypoints to the firing area.
Man, when you play like at low settings on higher resolutions, it really just makes it so much worse. Because you can just see with more fine detail how bad the lower settings look. We're just gonna drive around and do our own thing. Screw constant listening to that guy yap on about how to shoot tanks like we did in 1080p. So we'll just go drive around now. And then that way we can test the stability of the game a little better too, because we're like moving around a little. That way if there's any crashes or whatnot, I will let you know. But so far, games have been pretty freaking stable. I haven't really had any crashes for any games on this computer. Besides a long time ago, Zero Horizon Dawn, but that's been fixed forever. Anyway, let's move on. Now we're gonna do a little War Thunder minimum with camera here. Well, we're definitely getting a lot of FPS, that's for sure. And instead of just listening to their nonsense, I figured, fuck this, I'm just gonna like drive around a little. But we almost rolled it. Man, I wish we could drive that one. That one looks like a giant motherfucker. Man, look at all these different tanks. I mean, a lot of them are just copies of one another, but still a lot of tanks there. That's dope. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next graphics setting. On to some low preset now. So let's check out low. Or at least the low settings. Then we'll hop back into the game and see how it does. Hopefully now the game will look more like a game and not just pixels. But hey, what do you expect for something called minimum? It's all like, hey, if you're trying to play this on like integrated graphics or something like an APU, then damn, you can do it. So, now let's move on. Some low gameplay now.
Follow the waypoints to the firing area.
No, I shan't be doing that. I assure you. Oh. So, does that mean I can, like, drive through any wall I want? Okay. Cool, so we can just not even listen to that. We can just start driving around. Uh-oh, if I don't get stuck. Oh, come on, don't be stuck. We can do it. Alright, hell yeah. Alright, can you run over trees, too? Alright, yeah, you can. At least that kind of tree. Hey, there's another tank over here. Hello, fellow tank. Oh well, I guess we'll just start exploring a little bit. Now that I know I can do that. Alright though, let's move on. Well, now we're moving on to some low camera gameplay here. And I managed to go through a wall that I didn't know I could go through. I mean, I figured tanks in real life can go through a wall, no problem, but I didn't think they were gonna just let me bust through a wall and start driving around in the training area. Wonder how far I can go before it gets like pissed off at me and just says, "You fail!" So I figured, fuck it, we'll just drive around and do whatever the fuck we want. I figure we can at least go to the ends of these roads. Beyond that, though, it probably won't let us go any farther. It'll probably say, "You are leaving the mission area. Return. Countdown. Oh, you couldn't do it. You lose." Kind of like Battlefield. Though who knows for sure. I'm still surprised it's letting me do this. Oh, there it is. Alright, I return to the battlefield. You happy now? You should be. I think it's happy now. It stopped yelling at me. Anyway, though, seems like a good time to move on to the next graphics setting. Alright, now we're going to move on to medium preset. So, let's go look at all of the settings real fast. So far, it's doing great. Hundreds of FPS. All while the game still looks great. Alright, now let's scroll down and look at these two over here. And now let's get into the game. Alright, let's get some medium gameplay in now that we know we can smash through walls. We're gonna have a little bit more interesting fun with this tutorial area now. They probably never expected anybody to really do this. Hell, I wouldn't have assumed I could even done it if I hadn't accidentally bumped into it. Oh, and now it's 420. So I must take a quick 420 hit. Luckily it wasn't right at the end of the video, where I wouldn't have been able to talk. Huh, nope, can't go through those. Alright. Take a little drink now. Alright. I was hoping that I could get to the end of this recording before 420, but couldn't do it. Anyway, let's move on. Now for a little bit of some medium gameplay here with the camera. Still very amusing that I can just break through the walls and do whatever I want. Though they honestly probably just don't expect anybody to attempt that. Oh yeah, drifting tanks. I can drift anything. Oh. It did not work quite to my advantage there. Because it's probably going to yell at me to get back to the combat mission. At least it gives you like 20 seconds. Warzone is like, oh, you're out of the thing, you got like 4 seconds, alright, you're fucking dead, fuck you. I'm like, oh shit. Whoa. Alright though, I think that's more than good enough. Why don't we move on to the next graphics setting? Alright. Now we're gonna do some high preset. So let's just scroll through these real quick. Okay. And there we go. Alright. Now we're on high. So, which way should we go this time?
Begin with... Follow the waypoints to the firing area.
I guess let's see how far you can go this way. I want to go climb that hill. That'd be cool. Climb up those stairs or something, see if the tank can do it. Oh, no, it's not gonna let me. Alright, I hear you. I'm turning around. Alright, well, let's go this way then. Oh, nope, still can't go that way either. Alright. Just cruise next to this wall and go check out the hangars over here. Ah, I see myself on the map now. So, yeah, no, of course I can't go much farther that way. There's no more map. Well, game definitely looks pretty nice now on high. And still gets shit tons of FPS even while we're recording. Anyway though, I think it's about time for us to move on. Now for a little high camera recorded gameplay here. This game definitely looks pretty damn nice on high on a 1440p monitor. And still getting great FPS. Yep, I have a feeling this will have no problem getting, even on movie settings, good FPS. Though I'm not sure how it'll do when we get to just maxing the game out with custom. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Oh, I can't go through double wall. Well, that makes sense. Walls are pretty sturdy. Anyway, though, let's move on. And on to maximum settings, which aren't maximum at all. Alright, let's scroll through real quick. And there we go. So, let's go get some gameplay on maximum. That's not really maximum. And then we'll move on to movie and custom settings after we get this and camera. So I guess let's just cruise around again. I know I went this way once already, but there's a lot less area to travel in than I originally had thought. I figured I had a lot more free reign over this map. But I think it's just, I think it's only the box. The brighter green. I think all that, like, darker green shit is like, hey, warning, you can't go there. We're gonna, like, get pissed at you. So I guess I'm just gonna cruise down this road and just see how far I can go. I mean, this thing can actually move pretty quick for how heavy it is. it didn't yell at me yet, but let's just go this way now, I guess, just for fun. Alright though, why don't we go ahead and move on? Now we're on maximum, so let's get some camera gameplay here. Still getting plenty of FPS, we're sitting at around 180, depending on where we look. We can even hit 200. If we're just looking out at nowhere. Or if we're looking at the sky, we can get like, yeah, 300. Or at the ground. Nope, the ground, since there's lots of grass, you can't. Still though. Good FPS. Ha. It's fun just driving the tank around though. You can do it, tank. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and move on to the next graphics setting? On to movie settings at 1440p. This would basically be like Ultra in other games, I would assume. But it too doesn't completely max the game out. We'll have to do that ourselves in custom, which we will do after we're done with movie. But for now, let's just finish looking through these, and then we'll get into the game. Alright, two more settings to look at down here real fast. They're both on very high. And there we go, let's get into the game. Now let's get ourselves a little movie gameplay, or Ultra, whatever you want to call it. And then after we get done with this and some camera gameplay, we will go ahead and pump everything to absolute maximum. I ran over your house. I think mostly that was just like a guard outpost. Hey, it sank into the ground. Alright, well, bye-bye remnants of guard post. Off in this direction a little bit further this time. No more guard outpost over here either. And we'll just take care of some of this fence too. Alright, and we can also move on. Now we're on what they call movie, which they recommend you don't use, but I mean, at least this laptop seems to be powerful enough, at least in these kind of tutorial modes, to do it. Maybe that would change if I was in like a game full of like however many people there can be, having like a full-on war, but at least here in the tutorial, effortless. Oh yeah. So much tank driving. But all right. Now why don't we go ahead and move on? Okay, now we're on custom at 1440p, no VSync or anything like that. So now, we've got everything completely maxed out. SSAA, all these things are all the way over. Everything that can be up to very high is as high as it can go. Everything that matters is ticked on. Look at these last two things real quick right here. And now, let's go see how it does in the actual game. Alright, we got the game completely maxed out now at 1440p. And as you guys can see, we're not able to quite hit 60 anymore. We're in the high 50s. Dropping into the low 40 or 50 sometimes. But that's okay. You shouldn't be playing this game like that anyway. It could somewhat handle it at 1080p, but can't quite handle it at 1440p. That's a little too much for it, but if you just play on movie, you know, it's fine. You get great FPS, and it looks just as good in my opinion. Maybe not quite as many jaggies with this, but I'd rather have the FPS in a game like this than... because I don't got time to look at jaggies while people are shooting at me and planes are dropping bombs on me. It's like trying to turn all the graphics up in Warzone. It's like, what's the point? I don't have time to admire anything. I'd rather just get as many FPS as I can. Even at 4K, because I use DLSS anyway. At least when I'm on my main computer, that is. But anyway, though, this still might be up someone's alley. Someone might like playing like this and have no trouble at all and just be like, damn, this is so awesome looking, you know, who knows? That's why I do every single resolution and every single graphics setting I can do in games like these. Anyway, though, that seems about good enough, so why don't we go ahead and wrap this video on up? Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for War Thunder at 1440p, and it did great. Except for when we maxed the game out, it dropped a little under 60, but not by as much as you'd think. But I would sooner keep it on movie, which is the setting right below, before I maxed it out. Because then we were still getting like 150 to 180 FPS. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until the next one, peace out, guys.